Friends, today is Wednesday, the 25th of November, and it's the day before Thanksgiving, a day that I always kind of enjoy. I like the anticipation almost more than the goal. And Wednesday before Thanksgiving always reminds me of my early seminary days. I started at the seminary in 1965 in high school. And the first time that we got to go home was for Thanksgiving. We started in August, and as a 14-year-old in the seminary, going home and finally getting off that hilltop at Mount Angel was one of the things that we looked forward to most. Many years ago, simple little pleasures of life. And today in the Gospel, we continue Luke's long section on the end of the world and preparation for the end. And the Gospel reminds us of the unhappy truth that the church can expect persecution until the end of time. They can expect persecution until the end of time. And all the persecution the church has already suffered over these 2,000 years. It says they will seize and persecute you and hand you over because of my name. And when will the church stop being persecuted? Well, only when the Lord comes in glory. Persecute you in my name. I'm reminded of the Beatitudes, where it says, blessed are you when they seize you and persecute you and hate you and accuse you of every kind of slander against you falsely and so on. Blessed are you, for your reward will be great in heaven. You know, Luke, his second part of the Gospel of Luke is the Acts of the Apostles. And those apostles in the Acts of the Apostles, so early in the church's history, of course, persecuted. And they gave thanks that they were found worthy to be persecuted for the name. You know, when we look around the cathedral itself, all the saints and the windows and the apse and so on, and we see all the saints, and what all of them share in common is the fact that they had to struggle. Every saint in here, in some fashion, struggled because of their faith, their desire to live lives of integrity and truth and justice and faith. And I'm sure where I'm not sure, let me put it this way, I'm not sure where the myth arose somehow that if you are a Christian or a Catholic, that all your problems will go away and you'll just live this sort of splendid, happy life. Well, hopefully you'll be happy, but the troubles of life will not be taken away. There's nothing in the Bible that indicates that faith will take away troubles. What the Bible does indicate, and the Gospels in particular, is that when the troubles arise, we will have the strength. We will have the strength to endure. And that's what our gospel today tells us. For it says, I myself, the Lord, will give us wisdom in speaking, that all your adversaries will be powerless to resist or refute, if we can simply be faithful and persevere. You know, the saints all around us found the courage to engage in the struggles. And the saint that we celebrate today, Saint Catherine of Alexandria, is a very good example of the fact that one suffers, but one has the strength to endure and to persevere. By your perseverance, you will save your lives. Your perseverance. Catherine of Alexandria, I remember when I first arrived in Rome for the study of theology back in 1973, and going through the churches with a couple classmates of mine, we noticed that there was one woman who appeared in virtually every church, in every fresco, in every painting. And next to her was a spiked wheel. And we don't know what these saints look like, and so we recognize them by the symbols that are next to them. And I wondered, what is that spiked wheel, and who is that woman? Well, it turns out it was Catherine of Alexandria, who was martyred with that spiked wheel. I'm not sure how that martyrdom went, but it doesn't look like a very friendly wheel. And she is one that was one of the most popular saints in the Middle Ages. She wouldn't be in every church in Rome and every other city if she weren't popular. A martyr. And the patroness of philosophers. She was a philosopher herself, coming from Alexandria. Alexandria was one of the great cities of wisdom and learning, the great library of Alexandria. And Catherine herself studied philosophy. I'm not sure how that worked out in the ancient world and as a woman, but she studied, and she came to Christianity through her study of philosophy. Many people, of course, come through philosophy or other studies to Christianity, and she is one. To the point in her faith that she even challenged the emperor. The emperor, who didn't like to be challenged, placed her before, this legend goes, 50 philosophers and involved in a kind of a discussion, argument, 50 philosophers trying to trip her up. But she, in the legend, of course, did just the opposite. The Lord giving her, as our gospel said, the wisdom in speaking that all your adversaries will be powerless to resist or refute. And that was Catherine. Catherine was one of the great saints who inspired Joan of Arc in her mission. One of the voices she heard was that of Catherine of Alexandria. Catherine, of course, from the early church, many legends about her, and some doubted even her existence. And here is the saint who persevered. In 1969, when the Roman calendar was updated, she was dropped because many argued that she never existed. But saints have a way of persevering. In 2002, when the Roman calendar once again was examined, she was restored, and her feast placed on this 25th of November. She's a wonderful example of courage and faith facing martyrdom itself, and becomes a witness and a great example to all of us Latter-day Saints. She lived that beatitude of blessed are you when they hate you and persecute you and utter every kind of slander against you because of me. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward will be great in heaven. Hold that thought on this day before Thanksgiving, and we'll be here tomorrow once again to celebrate Thanksgiving. Hold that thought. Have a good day, and we'll see you tomorrow.